Hebrews 11 tells us that Moses thought it better to suffer for the sake of the Messiah than to own the treasures of Egypt. For he was looking ahead to the great reward that God would give him in eternity. Instead of listening to the voices of Pharaoh and the naysayers among even his own people, Moses turned to God and kept right on going in the direction that the Lord was leading him. Now, instead of fixing his eyes on the treasures of Egypt, the Bible tells us he looked ahead and understood the infinitely great value of the things that are not seen and was willing to suffer rather than stay in Pharaoh's court and prosper. Moses kept his eyes on God. He left the power and the prestige of Egypt and chose God's people and God's promises, though even it meant difficulty, because he was focused, folks. He was focused on one thing: obeying God's voice. And it was that single-minded, wholehearted focus that kept him unafraid of the terrible wrath of Pharaoh. It was the source of his confidence and his strength as he led the Israelites out of bondage and through the Red Sea. So it is with us, keeping our eyes on the one who is invisible instead of on the overwhelming problems or the difficult people in our paths. We can keep going wherever God leads us. And as we are fixed on him, we perceive the realities of the unseen and find the key to walking by faith and not by sight. It is the relinquishment of burdens and fears that begins where adoration and worship of God becomes the occupation of the soul.